Seamus, and on this channel I do book reviews and reviews for other products. Today we're going to look at an extremely interesting piece of work that was written in the early 20th century, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book right here was written by a man who closely knew and was closely associated with Andrew Carnegie, and who had interviewed several other people, including Thomas Edison, Theodore Roosevelt, and other people of fame and fortune. Now, this book, as you can see here, is somewhat thick. It's almost 400 pages long, and it has several chapters. But we're going to briefly look at just 3 of them for purposes of video duration. Now, this book has very interesting viewpoints and insight into how and why people get rich. So yeah, let's delve into some of that here. The first chapter that I would like to discuss is chapter 2, the chapter on desire. Our minds, and I cannot stress this enough, our minds are one of the most powerful tools we can wield. Okay, we use our minds every day, even when we're, unconscious or unaware. We are using it. Our subconscious mind and our conscious mind both work together in our day-to-day lives. Through desire, we have the power to transmute that which we want into its physical counterpart. And that requires work, dedication, effort, and a lot of other interesting and very insightful topics that are discussed in this book, but are individualized into their own chapter. The law of attraction also works here as well, in incorporating or attaining desire. Because when you desire something, when you want it strongly, you will attract it. And that doesn't work, for just money. That works for anything. The law of attraction will pull whatever you're wanting to you in some way, shape, or form, in some fashion, over a period of time. So the law of attraction is a catalyst of sorts for attaining desire. We utilize that law in order to transmute that desire into its physical or monetary equivalent, counterpart. The second chapter I would like to discuss is chapter 9, the chapter on persistence. Now, it pretty much goes without saying that if you want something bad enough, you will be persistent enough to go for it. Having a negative attitude will never bring you any success. Or if it does, then it wouldn't last long. Because having a negative attitude will utilize those universal laws and pull negativity towards you through various means, by various methods. And oftentimes that will be so subtle to where a lot of people don't even observe it, or can't observe it, or are unaware of it. But nevertheless, it does exist, because thoughts are energy. And when you put those thoughts out there into the physical universe, they come back to you in some way, shape, or form. There is a quote in this book that is very profound, very positive. And if you become a master of autosuggestion, which is a separate chapter in this book, very interesting. If you become proficient in the use of autosuggestion, then you will be able to utilize these positive principles to bring you success. But the quote to which I am referring is, "A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits." If you want something bad enough, you will pursue it. You will continue to pursue that in some fashion, somehow. If you want if you want a certain job or a certain position in a certain job, and you want your boss to know that, you know, work towards it. Be dedicated. Be persistent. Show that you want that position. Show that you demonstrate the skills and drive necessary to achieve that. So persistence goes a very long way in transmuting desire into its physical counterpart. Because without persistence, there is no attainment. There may be that desire, but without persistence and without utilizing the law of action, you will not achieve your success, your desire, your riches. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. The last chapter I would like to touch upon is a very, very interesting chapter all in itself. Chapter 15, How to Outwit the 6 Ghosts of Fear. There are different forms of fear, some of which people aren't even aware, some of which people are aware but don't know how to conquer them. The first fear would be fear of poverty. Fear of poverty, being a mental attitude or a mental state wherein you do not want to sink down to a certain level. You do not want to be poor. You do not want to be homeless. You do not want to live where you're just getting by, scraping along, not able to sufficiently support yourself and or your family. And it is that kind of mental attitude, having that fear, which will eventually put you in that position. One of the most important things one needs to keep in mind when attaining riches is not give in to any sort of fear. Harboring any negative thoughts or attitudes will not bring you success. Another fear, the second of the 6 fears, fear of criticism. Now, if you're concerned in any way, shape, or form of what others think of you, or what others say about you, or what people might say about you, then you're not going to achieve any sort of success, because you step outside of yourself. You step outside of your own thoughts, and you become them, so to speak. You allow other people's thoughts to enter your universe and dominate your thoughts, thereby limiting yourself and your potential. So, yeah, the fear of criticism is definitely a killer of desire and attainment. The third fear is fear of ill health. Now, you may be saying, how exactly can I be scared of having an illness? How can the fear of ill health limit my life? Well, I have 2 words for that. Psychosomatic illness. The mind, and I I know I said this earlier, but I cannot stress this enough. The mind is one of the most powerful tools we can wield. Okay? Many illnesses that are in existence today are caused by the mind. Doctors have said all throughout history that a majority of their patients come to them with illnesses that don't even exist. And by that I mean being hypochondriac. People think they have this or that, but in reality that's just in their mind. And since the mind is powerful, the mind will create that, thereby limiting one's potential in life. Fear of ill health can cause all sorts of ailments, all sorts of disappointments throughout one's life. It can create alibis which give that individual excuses for their failures. So please do not give in to the fear of ill health. Be healthy, be mindful, and be practical about it. Fear of the loss of love of someone. Now that can play heavily into someone's life. If someone allows the fear of losing someone, their wife or husband, to dominate their life, then that person can be subject to all sorts of negativity. Things like jealousy, suppression, oppression, that can cause that person to treat their spouse in all sorts of harmful ways. They could create all sorts of negativity which could impact their life and thus hinder their chances of succeeding, attaining their desires. So for those who are afraid of being alone, or who are afraid of losing the love of someone, to them I would say, be strong. Be independent. Do not give in to any sort of fear which would hinder your ability to perform your day-to-day life with happiness, success. Fear of old age. Fear of old age can cause many people to decline rapidly, especially in early stages of life. When they get to be 30, 40 years old, 50. People start to have that old man mentality. Not everybody, mind you, but some people, a lot of people, start to have that old man or old woman mentality, and then they start to decline physically, mentally, spiritually. Because when you think that you're going to grow old, you tend to become less observant, less motivated, and you tend not to do a lot more. So don't let the fear of old age harm you or hinder you. The fear of death. Fear of death in some ways goes hand in hand with the fear of old age. Fear. Okay, if you're afraid of dying, then you may or may not have any idea of what would happen to you upon the death of the body. For those who are spiritual, they already know that the physical body does not last forever. So why let a fear like that ruin your chances of living a happy and successful life? Me personally, I'm not going to let something like that ruin my day or my life. I know, or I firmly believe, that the physical body does not last forever, because it really doesn't, because the body is of the physical universe. But anyway, I do not let the fear of death ruin my mindset, ruin my attitude towards life. I will work to achieve what I desire. I will work to achieve success in life, because I do know that the physical body does eventually die. But that's an inevitability. That's part of life. That's part of the physical universe. But still, I will not, and you should not either, let that hinder your abilities. Let that make you unhappy or miserable. So I'd like to leave you with a very, very powerful excerpt, very powerful quote in this book. We are the masters of our fate, the captains of our souls, because we have the power to control our thoughts. Let that sink in. Our minds are very powerful. And when we control our thoughts, we control our lives, and we can achieve whatever we desire. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good night, day, evening, afternoon, or whatever time it is where you are.